All right, guys, this is a review of the worksheet for your quiz. Some of the students requested that I make a review. So, number one over here, you have the female reproductive system. You should know all those parts, but in particular, you should know 3 and 4. 3 is the ovary, releases the hormone estrogen, and 4 is the fallopian tube, also known as the oviduct, and that's where fertilization takes place. And then estrogen there. All right, so it's asking which two processes in the chart identifies where the, I just read that wrong. Which row in the chart correctly identifies where in the female reproductive system these two processes occur? So if we look at 3, you have meiosis. That's going to be in the ovary because we're making the egg cell. But more importantly, 4 is where fertilization is taking place, and that's going to be the fallopian tube. All right, number 2 over here, it's asking where is the egg fertilized? It's like the same question. In this situation, the answer is going to be letter B. It gets fertilized in the fallopian tube. Number 3, I talked to you guys a little bit about toxins and how they're harmful to a developing fetus. The fetus is way smaller than the mother, as well as it is making organs when it is developing. So it says toxins can harm a developing fetus. They usually enter the fetus by the process of what? And it's going to be diffusion, and that's going to be across the placenta, and that's going to be important. You have diffusion of nutrients across the placenta, as well as waste back the other way. Number 4, the function of the placenta, that's going to be exchange of nutrients. So the answer here is going to be choice D, permit the passage of nutrients and oxygen from the mother to the fetus. It's got to go from the mother to the fetus. Sometimes they say that the oxygen will go from the fetus to the mother, and that doesn't make sense. All right, so if we're looking at this diagram, where is fertilization going to take place? They changed up the wording. We have the oviduct. All right. Number 6, which process will increase variations? If you see variations, you should be thinking of meiosis. You should be thinking of crossing over, which is recombination of genes. And our answer here is going to be C, recombination of genes. So it could be meiosis, it could be crossing over, it could be recombination. They're all very similar. Number 7, you have the fetus, and you should be able to label these things, like number 6 is the placenta, 5 is the umbilical cord, 7 is the amniotic sac. Where does fertilization occur? If you notice, I've asked this question a few times. It's going to be choice 1 over there, and that's the fallopian tube. Couple more here. Number 8, it's asking what does X do? X is the placenta. You have to know that. And that is going to exchange materials between the mother and the fetus. Last 2. You see puppies, you see some white ones, you see some darker ones. The difference is seen. We have differences. Another word for that could be variation. Why do we have variation? The answer there is going to be the sorting and keyword recombination of genes. When does that happen? During meiosis. Lastly, little Punnett square on there. If T is dominant, big T, is dominant, tall over little t, short. A homozygous dominant, so that's going to be big T, plant is crossed with a heterozygous plant. That's going to be big T, little t. And 200 seeds are produced. How many of those seeds are expected to produce homozygous dominant? So if we do the cross, you're going to have 50% of them are going to be homozygous dominant, big T. So if 200 are produced, 50% of 200 is going to be 100. All right, nice little review for you. Have a good day.